Can AMC reach $1,000 before December 31st of this year? Put it another way, will AMC actually short squeeze before the end of 2021? That's a question lots of us have, and I believe, there is no one way, there's not one way of actually answering this question. So as always, there are two stories. I mean, there are two sides of every story. There are two versions of every story, and there are two sides of any coin. So I'm going to look at both sides, and actually you're going to use either one suiting your personal, position and profile with AMC to actually get your answer, right? So first of all, let's get to the camp of the naysayers, let's say. Why? Because AMC, by looking at the chart right now, it's sitting at maybe $42 a share. All right. So before June, was turning around 10, and then went all the way up to the 16, the 20, 5 and 6, boom, and then all-time high of the 70s. And people bought in this ride up, in this wave up, we're under the impression that once we reach 72, boom, it's gonna be the open door to the moon. Well, it didn't happen that way, but it doesn't mean that it's not gonna do what it's supposed to do in due time. But the actual thing with people thinking, who thought that it was gonna be a 2-day or maybe a 2 months kind of quick thing. Boom, I got in here around 26. It went all the way up to 12,000. Boom, I'm out. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. All right, but again, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. The only thing is people who put a time frame on this tend to be deceptive, tend to be, let down. Why? Because the further they're actually putting so much pressure into why, I mean, when is it going to do what it's supposed to do? When is it going to squeeze? The less they have conviction into the play, and the less you have conviction into the play, the more you let your emotions think what you need to do with your money here into AMC as an investment for the Swiss short squeeze or whatever. All right. And that is not actually a right way of approaching things, because anytime you are looking at money decisions, investing, especially in the stock market, and you let your emotions guide you and drive you, I mean, you do a wrong decision. All right. So now looking at the other side of the story here, the other flip side of the coin, with all the news, what I'm getting from what the company is doing, what the company is heading towards, the news around the short sellers, what the SEC is actually doing behind the scenes, and what is actually happening with other stocks in the market that are squeezing, right? Like the DWAC, the Bed Bath & Beyond, etc., it gives more momentum. And that's why I personally believe we are actually much more closer to the squeeze than we were the last 10 months. All right. Because we have everything we needed and everything we need to make our conviction strong. And that, I believe, it's what it all boils down to. All right. It all goes down to, what are your convictions? How strong are your convictions into this play? All right, because it can pop anytime now. I mean, seriously, tomorrow you can wake up and AMC can be trading pre-market at $250 a share, and then boom, 1,000, and then for the next 5 days it go up to, I don't know, whatever. All right, but it can also trade sideways for the next 12 months. So you have to be ready for both scenarios. All right, but the question is not if he's going to do what he's supposed to do. The question is when. All right. So I guess the answer here is not a right or straightforward answer. If you still believe he's going to do what he's supposed to do, then continue to do what you need to do to be holding when the squeeze happens. Because at the end of the day, this can pop anytime, but it can always also go sideways or even go a little bit on the downtrend for the next 6 months. Nobody knows. Only the short sellers know. But one thing is clear. They cannot sustain this moving forward. They will have to fold, because now we have the retailers and some suits, the guy with the big pockets and the smart money, coming into such place, especially when earnings prove that the narrative against which they were going back in January is going to the trash now. It's not relevant anymore. So it doesn't make sense to be shorting these stocks at the moment. Hence, what we saw with DWAC, what we saw with, Avi's budget, etc., etc.